Hey, thanks for coming by. We're just going to go through some general pointers about what even is the health insurance marketplace and when can I sign up for it. So you may have heard about the health insurance marketplace. It's also known as the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, healthcare.gov, the exchange, Obamacare. Those are all just different names for the same exact thing. And what that thing is the marketplace. It's where individuals and families go to sign up for major medical health insurance. Now you might be thinking like, okay, but when can I sign up for those things? There are two distinct times that you can. The first is going to be the open enrollment period. This is when anybody can sign up for a plan. It's going to start November 1st. It's going to last till December 15th, and those plans will start January 1st of the following year. Other times you can sign up for it though are if you have something called a qualifying life event. Now that might sound confusing, but that basically means when something major happens in your life. So that could be getting divorced, getting married, having a baby, moving zip codes, getting a new job, losing a job. And so you might be able to think of this as, hey, I've lost health insurance coverage, which can happen when you lose a job, get divorced, or even retire early, turn 26 and get kicked off your parents. All of those times allow you to sign up for health insurance in the middle of the year due to this qualifying life event. All right, now that you've clicked the blue health insurance marketplace link, you're going to be landed on this page with pretty self-explanatory fields to enter. You're going to put in the zip code where you live. You're going to put in the dates of birth of the people who need the health insurance. So whether that's just you and a spouse, you and some kids, whoever needs to be on the plan, click the buttons, put in their dates of birth. Now we're going to come over though to one of the more kind of confusing ones, which is the household income spot. And you might be thinking, well, it's my take-home pay, it's my net income, it's the only number that they care about that you put in here is going to be your modified adjusted gross income, which again is some more technicalities and all that stuff. We've got a calculator here to help you calculate that. It's also a line item on your tax return, but that's the number that they care about, and they care about that income for the year that you will have the health insurance. All right, now that you've filled out the personal information about everybody who needs the health insurance coverage, you're going to scroll down, and to the left, you're going to see an area where you can add providers, hospitals, and you can even add prescriptions. Now, the reason that this is so important is that the plans through the Affordable Care Act, they work within certain networks, and so we've got to make sure that the providers that you see and the prescriptions that you take are actually going to be covered by the plan that you sign up for. And so you're going to want to gather, the information of any specialists you might want to see, your general practitioner, and get out the pill bottles if you take any prescriptions, and make sure you type in the specific names and the dosages, because that's going to help us determine which health insurance plan is going to make sense for you. And if it's a generic medication that you take, don't worry too much about getting the exact right name or dosage. All of these plans are going to cover generic medications very well. Okay, now that you've entered in all the information about the family, including doctors, hospitals, prescriptions, it's time to look at the plan results. Now, if you're like my zip code, I've had 89 different plans available. We're not going to sit here and scroll through 89. Other places have over 100, some have fewer than that. Your zip code's going to be unique. Now, if you don't really have any specific medications, doctors, specialists, or anything, it might make the most sense to just shop by price. Look over to the right, see all the different plans, find a company that you trust, and just select the cheapest one for you. But what you're going to want to do is scroll down to the left, because this tool is very intuitive and it's very user-friendly. Go ahead and click the checkbox behind all the different carriers that are available to you in your zip code. What you're going to do then is compare the results on the right for specific plans. And what you're looking for first and foremost is that your doctors are in green and they say are accepted by the plan, and that your prescriptions are in green, and they tell you either there's a co-insurance or there's a copay. If there is a plan that has it in the red saying prescription not covered, or doctor not in network, or does not accept, you can go back over to the left and uncheck that carrier, because that carrier is not going to work for you. That is going to start limiting our plan results and make your decision a lot easier to make. Now, the next big thing we're going to go over is bronze, silver, and gold. Obviously, a lot of people think, well, I'm going to want the gold. But when you start comparing them side by side and you see the different premiums and how much more you're paying from a bronze to a silver and then a silver to a gold, a lot of times the increased premium that you have to pay does not offset your savings in out-of-pocket max, deductible, your copays for your doctors, your copays for your specialists. Now, there is one specific area where a silver plan is going to make the most sense for you, and that's if your income and your situation results in you receiving something called a cost sharing reduction, or a CSR. How you can find out if you qualify for that is simply by scrolling to the top, look over to the right, and it'll tell you cost sharing reduction. In that case, I'm going to 100 out of 100 times recommend that you search for a silver plan with a company that covers your doctors and your prescriptions. So you're starting to see some prices, you're starting to see some monthly premiums out there. The biggest concern that we have at Iconic with any of these plans is, what if you need to go outside of that network? Yeah, this plan is going to be great because your doctor takes it, your hospital takes it, and your prescription is covered. But what if you need care outside of the network because you had an accident, because you were on vacation, because you live in Florida for 6 months as a snowbird, because you got a rare diagnosis and you want to go to the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio? We want to make sure that you have full coverage for anything that may happen to you. So while this major medical piece through the Affordable Care Act is a huge step in the right direction, if you think that you might be someone who wants or needs to seek care outside of that network, or that you just want protection in case that happens, you're going to want to look into adding a supplement to these plans. So now that you've put all your information in and you're scrolling through the plans, you'll be able to, by process of elimination, pick out the exact right plan for you. Once that's done, move on to the next video. Hey, congratulations. You found the right health insurance for your situation. Now we just need to make sure we put it into place. Okay, so this is the final step. You're going to click Add to Cart, and then you're going to walk through and they're going to ask you a bunch of personal information for you to put in. Make sure you have everybody's social security numbers, answer whether or not you're currently incarcerated, make sure to put in the appropriate income, and at the very end you're going to say to enroll in this plan. And the very last step, once you click enroll, once it goes to healthcare.gov, once it comes back, hey, it's a great success, the very last step is going to be to pay that first month's premium. Once you do that, the plan is in effect for your start date, and it'll tell you what your start date is on that landing page, and that will allow the insurance company to start emailing you stuff. Sign up for your online account, manage your payments, here's a portal, and they'll mail you physical cards and physical policies in the mail, but only once you finalize it by making that first month's payment. So if you think a supplement might make sense to pair with your ACA plan, we're going to talk to you about it after the ACA sign up, because this really is the most important part, to make sure your doctors, your prescriptions are covered. We're getting the tax credit if you qualify for one. This is the major medical piece, but we want to make sure that you have holistic coverage for everything within your health insurance plan. All right. So now you've got your health insurance in place. And don't think Iconic's going to just leave you hanging out to dry now. This is sort of where Iconic separates themselves, is we are going to give you ongoing support throughout the length of your policy, whether you have it for 1, 2, 3 months, 1, 2, 3 years. However long you're a client of ours, you get our ongoing support. So we're going to let you know what to expect when you use the plan. We're going to give you a heads up about when to re-enroll, or if you even need to re-enroll. We're going to teach you best practices of how to fill prescriptions, get blood work, get imaging done. We will be in your corner for when you go to use the health insurance and what to expect as far as using it, and any of the major changes that come up in government procedures or legislation, or hey, I heard about this from a friend of mine, he's using this plan. We will be there to support you throughout the life of your policy. All right, the one piece that we haven't talked about yet that everybody asks me about is dental and vision coverage. We're an independent brokerage. We don't care which dental insurance you sign up with, but we don't want you to have to pick a new dentist if we can avoid it. So if you're interested in dental and vision, go ahead and shoot us an email of who your dentist is, who your eye doctor is, and we'll shoot you back a quote with different options from different companies to make sure you can continue seeing that same dentist and or eye doctor.